Hi everyone, this is Ronnie, and this is a video reacting to Jennelle's video, uh, no longer vegan, no longer raw vegan, and now eating a diet that's basically mostly meat and dairy. And so this isn't the first person that we've seen in the last year or two who've decided to ditch a vegan diet. And it's just been kind of interesting over the last few years to see this. But I sort of just feel, sad for a lot of these people that have been misled so badly. I mean, all of these friends of mine, all these people, and people that I knew and acquaintances and so on, like, I was thinking about this earlier, because I assumed that we'd all like seen the same information and that we'd all been at the same classes and all read the same books and all seen the same obvious, scientific information with our own eyes, with our own ears, that we'd all seen that stuff and that it was pretty obvious that we should move away from eating meat, that we're making a good choice, going away from eating meat, drinking milk and all that stuff, and that health was in fruits, vegetables, whole foods, whole plant foods, right? I kind of thought that we were all on the same page about that. I thought they'd seen the stuff that I'd seen. So a friend of mine said recently, do you ever see someone fail on a plant-based diet or fall off a plant-based diet and say it didn't work for them? Do you ever think that you don't know more about their experience than they do? Right? So you say that I always think I know more about their experience, and I don't know more about their personal experience, right? I just understand people a little bit and the human body, and it's really simple. All this stuff is super, super, super simple. It's not a big complex thing. Everyone doesn't have a specific diet and specific things that they require, and that's very rare that anyone requires anything different from anyone else. Maybe if you're a type 1 diabetic, for example, you need insulin. Incredibly other rare conditions of people that can't process particular nutrients or particular things or can't uptake particular nutrients, so they need something. You get people that damage themselves so much that they can't take in B12 and different things like that. All sorts of things that might require something different. But most of the time, it's the same thing. It's simple. This stuff is not complex, and people sometimes come into these different diets and these mentalities, and they make it too complicated. Like everyone's got a specific journey and a specific thing. And I just see the same patterns again and again and again. I'm a pattern recognition person, and I see the same patterns again and again. The same words, the same reasons, the same feelings, everything. And I saw it in myself, I see it in others, so that's where that's why I comment on things. But Jennelle is not someone that I knew very, very well. She'd made a video, she talked about going to Woodstock all these times, and I was there every time, and I saw all that time, saw the changes in her, but never was part of her close friendship group, but knew her a little bit, maybe spoke to her, I don't know if I spoke to her more than just briefly, so I don't know her deeply and personally and all that, but I was aware of some of the stories that she brought up and some of the things that have happened to her, and I knew that she'd done a water fast with Doug Graham, and because she came up on stage the next year and spoke about it, and she'd healed, I believe, from her endometriosis, whatever, that's the name of it. She talked about that, and for a while she seemed to be doing really well on 80-10-10, and then one year she came back and she was, really skinny, and she'd been doing this juice fast or whatever. So there was all that stuff, but I never really got to know that well. So in the video, I mean, she's talking about her journey, and to me, I was listening to it and I was just kind of agreeing with most of it. All of it sounds quite normal, like normal experiences to me of people that go on a raw vegan diet, and then go back to a vegan diet and stuff like that. It's just like, I understand a lot of her experiences. I understand the feeling of not being satiated. I understand like craving other things and fats and stuff like that. She did about 2 years strictly 80-10-10. I understand having a very strict mentality about it and getting very, caught up in it needs to be exactly this or exactly that, and I can never have that again and all that. So I totally understand all of that mentality. And then I think she was talking about like having one thing or having something with salt on it or having a little bit of cooked food or whatever it was one time, and then couldn't control herself, like binging and all this other stuff, and feeling ashamed about that. And I totally understand all those kind of feelings, you know. I understand that whole journey. And then, and then she kind of gave up on raw, went back to plant foods, but never quite. And I do think that's, to me, like, I think that once you've went raw that long, it's kind of hard to just go back to cooked food and feel good on it. I don't know if you ever feel quite right on it ever again. I don't know, like maybe you do after a while or whatever. And she went over to Hawaii, and I think she and she had some bad experiences, I think, at the 80-10-10 sort of retreat. And anyway, you can watch the video for all the details. And she was doing it a vegan, but she was feeling, so on the raw vegan diet, she said she felt depressed and she felt she was never satisfied and she was always craving fats, like her body was wanting fats. She came back to the vegan diet and it was more like she was like, I think she was kind of in pain and not enjoying it, and digestive issues, and I don't know, all this different stuff, which to me isn't, and I'm just like, yeah, cooked food. You know what I mean? Like, you go that long raw, you go back to cooked food. Yeah, you're gonna realise how bad cooked food is. It's only when you've gone raw a long time that you realise how bad it is. So that, and then, but then she got into a thing where she got into Breatharianism, and she wanted to do that or something, and then she did this really long fast, 108 days. I think she was fasting and sometimes drinking juice, so it was a very small amount of food intake, lost a lot of weight over 3 months. 108-day fast, quite a long fast. And, just looking for healing and so on. And I think at the same time her life was very all over the place a little bit, live in one place, going to another place, not really finding something stable for her. So it seems like there was quite a lot of stresses and different things in her life. And then saw a video with someone eating animal products, experimented herself, immediately started to feel better, her teeth were immediately stronger, all this stuff that sounds a little bit kind of far-fetched, but anyway. And then now she's like eating basically just animal products. And we've kind of seen this pattern a little bit recently in people. And I just don't get it. Like, personally, I don't get it. Like, and as I was saying at the start of the video, did we not all see the same stuff? To me, were we not all in the vegan movement? Did we not all see the same stuff? Like, heart disease reversed on a plant-based vegan diet. Reversed. Diabetes reversed on a plant-based diet. Cancer. Reduce your chances of cancer with eating more fruits and vegetables. Meat is carcinogenic. Processed meat is carcinogenic. Basically all meat's processed meat, by the way. We can't really eat it without it being processed. Carnivores. You can't eat meat without it being processed. Don't be silly. well, you can't eat meat. Meat is a processed food. Animal is what carnivore eats. That it's killed right then and there. You're not carnivores. It doesn't matter. So there's that stuff. And just all the stuff that's out there about the meat and the dairy leading to all these diseases and conditions and illnesses and overweight and all that. Like, that's the problem with society. You look out the window, everyone is sick. It's like, it's because they're eating meat and dairy. And then all these friends of mine have gone back to eating meat. Like, what? What? Just have a look. And then they say to me, oh yeah, something about people are less fertile now, people are less hormones. Some of our friends talk to me about that kind of stuff, and oh, there was those vegan kids are skinny, or those raw vegans aren't this and that, and I'm like, have a look out the window at the population. Like, all the hormone treatments, all the testosterone treatments, that's for guys who are eating meat. All the child fertility stuff is for couples who are eating meat. This is not a vegan issue. In terms of children and childbirth and all that stuff, the amount of children that die, and how many of them are vegan? You know, if we were to do a count of all the dead children, of all the children that died in childbirth, are you trying to tell me what percentage of them are vegan or raw vegan? Basically none. Go to a hospital, just walk around. Sorry, hello, are you fruitarian? No. What disease do you have? Alright, do you eat meat? Yeah, you eat meat. Hi there, what disease do you have? Oh, arthritis. Oh, that's terrible. What diet do you eat? Oh, you eat meat. Okay, do you eat a fruitarian? No. Oh, hello, what have you got, lung cancer? Oh, right, very sorry to hear that. Are you a raw vegan, fruitarian? No, you're not. Do you eat meat? Oh, right, okay. We'll go to another ward. Digestive conditions. Oh, sorry, sir, what you got? Colitis? All right, that's very shame. You must be a fruitarian, right? Oh, no, what do you eat? Meat. Oh, right, okay. Cancer ward. What do you guys eat? Meat, 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 meat. Really? Okay. Milk? Yeah, as well. Eggs? Oh, you eat that as well, right. Any of you fruitarian? No. And do that in every single hospital in the entire world, and you'll get the same thing. This delusion that going back to eating meat is getting away from disease is completely strange. You're going towards disease. You're going towards those hospital beds, those painful situations. You're moving towards that. So it's very strange to me, all these stories. I personally don't know exactly what Jennelle did, if she did anything wrong. Maybe she didn't do anything wrong, I'm not saying she did. My impression, if I was doing a raw vegan diet and I felt like I was craving fats and I felt depressed and I felt like I wasn't satisfied, I would eat more. And I'm sorry that it's as simple as that, and that a lot of people can't accept that. And a lot of people think, no, that's too simple. It must be minerals, it must be DHA supplements, it must be B12, it must be, maybe it's like, eat 10 more bananas. Oh no, I can't eat that many bananas. Why not? Because that's too much. Why is it too much? Like, your body seems to be giving you the signals of hunger, not satisfied, craving fats, depressed, no energy, no motivation, don't want to do anything. That's undereating. 3 major symptoms of undereating, and I'm sorry that it's like, I don't want it to be as simple as that. I get it, you want it to be a more complex thing, but 1900 calories a day probably wasn't enough. But that's how I would diagnose myself if I had those feelings. If I was to wake up today, tomorrow, and I started to think, like, man, I would love some guacamole. Like, I would just want to eat the whole bag of nuts. From 7 years of experience now, I go, wait a minute, that means I've not been eating enough. But it took me so long to understand that. It took me so long to understand that. And even though I heard Doug Graham say it, if you're craving fats, it means you didn't eat enough fruit. I heard him say that again and again and again, and it took me a while for it to like sit in there, and then I went, oh yeah, I'm not eating enough fruit. I didn't have, that's right, I ran out of fruit yesterday. I only had, I only got a little bit of stuff. I didn't have as much. I was more active yesterday. I had more exercise. Right, that's what it is. I've not eaten enough this last few days. Craving fats. If I am feeling unsatisfied, it's. I mean, I think that that's another thing about being on the raw vegan diet. People have said that, like, how do you feel satisfied? And in a way, what people are looking for is their stomach to feel full, and you never really get that, and you have to adjust to that. And some people eat more fats because they want that feeling of fullness. But I think that just takes time to get used to, and you kind of get over that, or you know, you don't have that feeling of fullness anymore. That's the good thing about it. When I went back to eating cooked food for a while, a couple of years ago, it was like a brick just sitting there all the time. And now I realise people are used to that brick, and to not have it is weird to people. To have food that goes into your stomach and like passes through, they're used to the stomach like feeling like a brick. So, but yeah, eat more. I mean, I know it sounds too simple to be true, but most people don't want to eat more. And a lot of people, especially if they've got concerns and worries about weight loss, don't want to eat more. They don't want to eat more. I've already eaten 12 bananas, and Jennelle was saying that in the video. I've eaten 12 bananas. How can it be I need to eat more? Well, why not try it out? Why wouldn't it be eating more? Maybe you do need to eat more. What's wrong with eating more? Your body's got a pretty good way of signalling to you if you've eaten enough fruit. Other foods, it doesn't. Other people say the other thing, that they feel too full on this diet. They eat a few pieces of fruit and they know it's not enough, but they feel too full. They feel they can't eat any more. So you go 100% raw, you cut out the fats, and then you get that thing of being unsatisfied, and it requires eating more. But that, to me, that's a build-up of not eating enough over time. It's not that they didn't eat enough that day. 12 bananas and a bunch more mangoes, that might have been enough for that day, but if they've under-eaten for the past 3 days, they're going to feel that. Anyway, that's how I would diagnose myself if someone came to me for advice. I'm not saying that's anything to do with Jennelle's situation, but it's a pattern I've seen in myself. I can understand a lot of what she's saying. I agree with a lot of what she's saying. I'm watching it going, yep, I can imagine doing that. I know that I've felt that. I know all that stuff. So I don't disagree. And I don't know people are doing this meat thing, and I don't know how they're justifying it with all the stuff. I mean, maybe from the flavour, if you like the flavour, but the information that we've all seen about meat causing disease and all that, I don't get it. I really don't get it. So, hope everyone's well, and don't want anything bad to happen to anyone, but people are putting themselves back in harm's way, back to the diet that caused their problems in the first place, And I don't believe anyone's sticking to a strict carnivore diet, frankly. People are going from carnivore back to like standard diet, the worst diet, the one that everyone's trying to get away from. Everyone knows it's bad. We know it predictably causes disease, standard diet. But that's what happens. You go back to carnivore, you add in a little plant food, a little bit of a mix, and then you're back to the standard diet. Like, it's the worst one. So anyway, I don't know, that's just my thoughts on her story. It's similar to my story. I understand a lot of the feelings she's went through. And I like what she said about the Woodstock Festival. It's always been a great place, and a place for friendships, and a great community, and some really good, inspiring people have been there. But you know, no particular judgment or whatever you want to call it, no hatred, no, just kind of surprised with a lot of people that are. But I'm not worried. I think all these people will find something good for themselves, whether that's this or something else or whatever. And really, I want all of these people to get, like, for me, I know that you might think it, but I'm not obsessed with my diet. You know, I'm not. I've kind of found what I like, and I'm just looking to keep going now. So now I'm not thinking about it too much anymore, right? I'm not really thinking about it too much anymore. I want to explore the rest of my life now, and I just hope that everyone else is getting joy and, you know, purpose and stuff in the rest of their life. I was so sad when I heard Jennelle talk about she's in Hawaii and she's like homeless and she's hitchhiking around and she's got all these friends, and I'm like, why are they letting her be homeless? What's that all about? I don't get it, you know. I don't know. I don't know what happens in Hawaii, right? Maybe there's different rules. In Scotland, we don't just let our friends be homeless. Maybe in Hawaii, people don't care about each other. I don't know. I don't know. Everyone fake cares about each other. But I can't imagine letting a friend go homeless and, like, I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, and feel free to subscribe if you want more of this stuff and leave your comments below. We'll see you in another video.